delivering quality education, expanding access to learning, serving learners' learning needs, tackling challenges of the present time, supporting every learner's dream, reaching young Tagumeños where they are today. From the music capital of the Philippines, advancing in the challenge of distance learning, the official TV-based instruction of DepEd Tagum City, bringing you quality education straight to your home. Plug yourself in. This is DepEd TV. Tara na!
Hello, our dear Grade 8 SPJ learners. Today is another day full of learning about journalism. I am so glad to be part of your journey as you discover new lessons through television. Airing from Salida La Filipina TV, I am your teacher on air, Teacher Marifa Dumalag from La Filipina National High School in the service of DepEd Tagum City, aiming to continue education amidst the challenges brought by the pandemic. Together, we will master our competencies while staying at home. So, what are you waiting for? Let's start the lesson! In this session, you will learn the different principles and ethical considerations in photo editing. At the same time, you will analyze a set of pictures and identify what principle or ethics of photo editing is being applied in each photo. Are you ready? Let's start! First, let us learn starting with our lesson objectives. First, explain the ethical issues in photo editing, which is also our most essential learning competency. Second, compare and contrast sets of pictures and identify what changes were made in each photo. Third, explore and examine the basic concepts and principles of photo editing. Before we delve deeper to our lesson, let us try answering the pre-test, which will measure your previous knowledge about the topic. Please answer what is asked. You will be given 5 seconds to answer. And when you hear the sound, then time is up. Are you ready? Let's begin! First, look at this picture. What changes were made? What are the effects of the changes? Were they done for A. Advertising, B. For entertainment, or C. For emphasis? Your time starts now. Time is up. The answer is letter C, for emphasis. Number 2. Look at this other picture. What are the changes made in this picture? A. Color, B. Size, C. No changes at all. Your time starts now. Time is up. The answer is letter C. No changes at all. Number 3. Examine the picture on the right. Can you make changes on the picture? What changes can you make using an image editing application to enhance this photo? A. Resizing. B. Rasterizing. C. Cropping. Your time starts now. Time is up. The answer is letter C. Cropping. How's your score? Congratulations for performing well. It's time to move forward. You are now leveling up on your skills in photo editing. Let us keep on learning more. This time, let us study this information. Newspapers have always used dramatic images to sell their stories. An image is the hook that draws the reader's eye to read the words. It breaks up to the text, brightens the page, and sets the mood for the article. Photo manipulation can give your magazine a dramatic, creative, and provocative visual boost that can capture the interest of the readers. However, controversy can often result which can inflict long-term damage if the readers feel they are tricked. Now, it is important to decide whether you will allow photo manipulation so you can avoid problems. Now, let us take a look on this sample picture from the Harbinger and answer the questions that follow. What have you noticed? Are there any changes made in the photo? Yes, the color may have been manipulated. Shooting a photo to appear black and white are technically manipulating the reality. However, in this photo, there are no deceptions involved because it is the specification for the newspaper. Therefore, this creative technique will not raise ethical concerns. This idea is anchored from the first ethical issues that you have to consider in photo editing, which is simple photo manipulation is acceptable. Another ethical issue that you have to consider in photo editing is retain perspective and maintain quality when resizing. Let us watch this video and learn how to resize images in Photoshop while keeping its quality.
Hey everyone, today in this video I'm going to be showing to you guys the proper way of resizing your images using Adobe Photoshop. A quick tip is that you should never ever stretch your images if you want to keep it looking professional. But without further ado, let's start resizing this image. So first of all, the basic stuff. Create a new document, then paste your image. But the problem is, your image is too big. But don't worry too much because in this video, I'm going to be showing to you guys the step by step. And it is pretty simple. We are just going to be adjusting something and we will get these amazing results. Now that we got our image in the canvas, make sure that it is on a separate layer from the background. Then click the layer where the picture is in and hit Ctrl T. Then zoom out to see the size of your image. This size will automatically show up when you hit Ctrl T. This size right here is the place where you can physically manipulate the size of your picture. But no, don't move anything yet. But if you already do something that messed up the photo, just hit Ctrl Z to undo. Just hit Shift and Alt to resize the image from all sides to the center. You can also hit Shift to resize the image from just one angle. Then lastly, if you finally have the results in which you are happy with, hit Enter to make this the default size. Now there we go, we now know how to resize the picture on Adobe Photoshop.
Now let us take a look on the second image and analyze whether the photo adheres to the second principle. What have you noticed? Did the author keep the dimensions when he resized and rescaled the image? Yes, you're right. Retaining the perspective may sound simple. You have to make sure that the width and the height dimensions must stay the same to retain perspective and stop an image becoming warped or stretched. Let's move to the third ethical issues in photo editing. Now observe these two images. What changes have you noticed? Yes, you're right. The image has been cropped, and it is important that when editing photo, you have to get rid of the parts of that are unnecessary. This idea conforms with the third principle of photo editing, which emphasizes that you have to crop out what you don't need. Cropping is one of the most basic tools found within photo editing software, but is also one of the most powerful. Learning how to use it properly will ensure you to get rid of parts of an image that do not help tell a story, while emphasizing that those do. Now observe these two images. What changes have you noticed? Yes, the photo was overly enhanced, leading the image to look unnatural. With this idea, you have to make sure not to overdo retouching. This is the last ethical issue that you have to consider when editing photo. Learning how to retouch skin and other aspects of an image is one of the most fun parts of photo editing. However, overdoing an image can make an image look overly edited, which leads you to return to the original and start again.
Now, let us watch this video and let us learn how to do simple skin retouching using the Adobe Photoshop.
much, right? Very good! Now that you have mastered the competency, let us remember the different principles underlying ethical issues in photo editing. First, simple photo manipulation is acceptable. Second, retain perspective and maintain quality when resizing. Third, crop out what you don't need. Fourth, not to overdo retouching. Now that you have learned the basic concepts about the principles underlying the ethical issues in photo editing, let us now assess your learning by answering this activity. Try to analyze the set of pictures and identify what ethical concern of photo editing is being applied in each photo. You will be given 5 seconds before you answer. And when you hear this sound, then time is up. Number 1. Compare and contrast the image below. Based on the pictures, what ethical principle of photo editing is applied? A. Simple photo manipulation is acceptable. B. Retain perspective and maintain quality when resizing. C. Crop out what you don't need. And letter D. Not to overdo retouching. Your time starts now. Time is up. The correct answer is letter A. Simple photo manipulation is acceptable since the photo just shows minimal manipulations like enhancing its color. At the same time, there is no deception involved. Therefore, this creative technique will not raise ethical concerns. Number 2. Look and observe this next photo. Based on the pictures presented, what ethical principle of photo editing is applied? A. Crop out what you don't need. B. Not to overdo retouching. C. Retain perspective and maintain quality when resizing. Or letter D. Simple photo manipulation is acceptable. Your time starts now. Time is up. The correct answer is letter C. Retain perspective and maintain quality when resizing, since the author makes sure that the width and the height dimensions stay the same to retain perspective and stop the image from becoming warped or stretched. Number 3. Look at this next image. Based on the pictures presented, what ethical principle of photo editing is emphasized? A. Crop out what you don't need. B. Not to overdo retouching. C. Retain perspective and maintain quality when resizing. Or letter D. Simple photo manipulation is acceptable. Your time starts now. Time is up. The correct answer is letter B. Not to overdo retouching, since the photo obviously shows that the quality is overly edited. Number 4. Look and observe this fourth picture. What ethical concern in photo editing is emphasized in this picture? A. Not to overdo retouching. B. Retain perspective and maintain quality when resizing. C. Simple photo manipulation is acceptable. Or letter D. Crop out what you don't need. Your time starts now. Time is up. The correct answer is letter D. Crop out what you don't need. It is because the author ensures to get rid of the parts of an image that do not help tell a story. Number 5. What is the main importance of photo editing in journalism? A. It makes the newspaper more appealing and eye-catching. B. It gives an edge to the picture to attract more viewers. C. It is the only way to express the stand of the publication and tell its story. Letter D. It organizes the picture in a manner that conveys the exact message which the photographer intends to convey. Your time starts now. Time is up. The correct answer is letter D. It organizes the picture in a manner that conveys the exact message which the photographer intends to convey. How's your score? Very good, students! I hope that you have learned great lessons today. May these learnings help you become a better communicator and user of information. As a point of reflection, let me borrow Nita Satam's quote, which says, "Every time we raise the camera to our eyes, we become morally responsible to the photographed, as well as the viewers. Photography cannot be just a privilege. It is a responsibility that should not be abdicated." That ends our lesson for today. This has been your teacher on air, Teacher Marife. See you in the next episode, only here at Salida La Filipina.
Salida La Filipina, ang iyong pangarap ay kikislap. Salida La Filipina, ang launungan ay magkakuntal. Salida La Filipina, edukasyon, abot kamay. Salida La Filipina, ang tagumpay sa tagumpay.
Mga kabataan, huwag panghinaan. Salida La Filipina ay bigyan daan. Ito ay magbibigay ng kaalaman. TV naman ngayon ang inyong paaralan. Mahirap man ang inyong sitwasyon, tayo ay magtulungan para sa edukasyon. Bawat isa ay mayroong misyon, matutong mabuti, maging inspirasyon.
Salida La Filipina, ang iyong pangarap ay kikislap. Salida La